Good morning. Good evening. Monday, February 1st. Let's get started. As we do, I want to say hi to Soham. So Soham, I know you've been on a couple of calls already, or more than a couple probably. And I think I've seen a few PRs coming from you as well.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Oh, wait, hold on. I can crack the code B18CSE053. I've
Yeah, you
got.
can try.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Hold on. See, the weird thing about the B18 is, I swear I thought that was the year that you were going to graduate, but clearly that's not the case.
Well, I
And
can
so,
give you a hint or something if you want.
yeah, well, or here, tell me if this is wrong. I guess that's the building on campus that your dorm used to be in.
Nah, no.
No.
You're actually right the first time, though. Close,
Oh,
closer.
oh, that's the date that you started.
Yeah, that's the year that I started.
Okay, so nice. Well, they do a good job of just like baking that into wherever your guys' last names are displayed. It's just like baked into that. Um, nice. I feel bad for. Well, I feel kind of bad for you guys knowing like just how many accounts you have now that use your school email. Do they let you keep the email account once you're done with school?
Yeah, we can have it.
Yeah, you get the access.
That's nice. And since they're G Suite accounts, right?
Hmm.
So okay, that they must get quite a deal from Google because, man, to continue to pay for that many students' accounts for decades or however long, that's
They get restricted in some sort, I guess, like if I remember correctly.
No, we get more limits than the normal personal accounts.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
got you. Makes sense. Um, huh. Well, yeah. Okay. All right. So B18 today. This is the 21st year of the century. So this is. So are you pre-final year right now, Soham?
Yeah, and I'm in my pre-final year.
Oh, nice. Okay. Which university again?
I'm from IIT Jodhpur.
Okay. Good. Wait. Hold on. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so can
I
you
guess.
guess who all others are from IIT Jodhpur?
It
Yeah.
will be very interesting.
Yeah. I get it confused between. Well, that's actually, yeah. That's the one I think there are any number of you that are from. The one I keep wanting to say is, well, there's a number of bright contributors who've been from indoor,
Mhm.
um, but we're not. But I'm not. Who's counting? You know, who's nice. Okay. Anyway, nice to have you, Son.
Thank you for having me.
Somebody was just saying some nice things about you. I think it was Drew, and then Drew just messaged a minute ago. He says he's too chicken to come today because because I've been waiting for 3 months, I think, on this. And we finally come down to the day to publish. He's still working on it. 3 months isn't entirely fair, but he's behind. So Josh Tanuj, Lee Nikhil, Soham, Vineeth. Oh, Vineeth is on. Nice. Vineeth, I've got an unanswered question from you to get to. And that's it. So we've got the link in the meeting minutes. And one thing to call out before we go all into Layer 5 NG is, well, there's actually kind of two things to call out. So one is that Shriti Chandra has, more or less culminated her internship. She had done Google Season of Docs. She's completed that. She's moving back to school. I I think she's back at school now. She's having to do exams for 2 weeks, and so she's stepping away. She's been reducing and reducing and reducing her time, and I think we're to the point where, um, as a community, her role as a community manager, I think she's going to set that aside, and we should see her in the community though. She wants to dig into some Go if she can. So. Okay, the second item is, well, after this is the Get Nighthawk site. Pratya Banerjee, Neil, he's been on point there, and I haven't heard from him for a while. I've been messaging with him. When I do hear from him, he's excited to create the site, and he's done a fair bit of work on the site actually. I'm taking heavy inspiration from Stripe.com, and so Austin has got some designs there for the site, and then a design for a Get Nighthawk page on Layer5 NG. I'm not sure that Neil isn't permanently distracted, or like, I shouldn't say permanently. I mean, distracted for long enough that we'll have to just get going on the site without him. So Soham could be so it's kind of a relatively fresh, new thing to do, whole new site, Get Nighthawk. You're here at an opportune time. So Soham, have you heard of this project before?
No, actually, you just mentioned about it in the last meeting. I know the name from the last meeting. That's it. And I just checked the website out real quick when you mentioned it the last time.
Oh, I see. Got you. Okay. There's this project document. It gives background about it, and it also has a fair bit about the site itself. What should be in there, and has links to. Should have links to the site design, the mock-ups. So something to think about. It's past time for us to have started. So okay, the code for it as well is there's a repository in our GitHub org, and it's called Get Nighthawk. So if think about it, have a look at it. If you're interested, signal.
Yeah, sure. Should I ping you on Slack?
Yep. Yeah, the website's channel is a good spot. Or yep, that's a perfect spot. Also, some of the back-end things that are being worked on in the project, there isn't a Get Nighthawk channel. The topic that's most related to it is the performance channel, so because it's about performance. So
okay,
nice. All right, and then Chitin is on with us as well. Oh, I mispronounced that actually.
Hello.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good evening. Can you enunciate your first name for me?
Yeah, it's Chintan, Chintn, Betrabet, Betrabet.
Chintan. Yeah, okay, good. I wanted to skip that for Chintan. Nice. Very good. This is your second year, if I recall. Is that right?
No, this is my first meeting here.
Okay, freshman year.
Yeah, I received invites before, but like I was busy last week, so this week I decided I'll start to join.
Okay. Oh, is this your first time on this call? Is that right?
Yeah. Is it a wrong call to start joining?
No. It's never too early to start to join one of the calls. No. I actually thought that you had. I know I've heard you speak, I think, on the community call. And then given the fact that you've been landing PRs on the websites already, I figured you'd already been in this call. So
No, it's actually my first involvement with this. I had actually come across some of your teammates on LinkedIn, and they invited me to this.
Oh, okay, very good. Yeah, no. Uh, we'll say a few words if you would, just to introduce yourself to everybody.
So, hi guys, I'm Chintan. I've been working in software industry for close to 2 years, and I came across this uh, organization when I was working on a project on Istio. So I had shared a few ideas on that, and I felt that the community may help me grow more on this, and as well as me give me a chance to share some of the learnings that I had. So currently, I'm working at Uber. So previously, I was working at Qbol, where most of my experience with Istio worked. So right, I'm not like my active development is not on that field, but like I want to keep in touch with it.
Nice. Yeah, that's fantastic. I've got a couple of questions for you, actually.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
two, one a little bit about Uber, not the business so much,
yeah.
um, but let me hold on. Let me ask you that in a moment, and before I do ask you of your tech technical focus, like you were saying, hey, you want to keep pace with, or sort of interested in, and want to keep pace in this
Yeah.
ecosystem, and beautiful. Is your between the front end and back end things? Do
Uh,
you land in about the middle, or toward?
yeah, more towards the back end. So, like at Qbol, I was working with the platform team. So, we were going to use Kubernetes, and for that, we were planning to use Istio. So, that's where I came across this community. So,
Nice.
right now, it's slightly different. Like, it's more along the data path for Uber. But, I was interested in this field, and I thought I'll keep in touch with the latest developments here.
Nice, beautiful. Okay. Um, Let me orient you just really quick, just to so that because you're most welcome on any call that we have. I mean,
Mhm.
anything that interests you, jump in.
Yeah, I received invites for these. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, like you were saying, whether you have the expertise or you don't, feel free to come learn. I mean,
Yeah,
and if you
absolutely.
and there's a short. This is kind of a quick reference table of the different meetings and things, but
Mhm.
we'll you'll notice that they end up having kind of a similar format to how we meet, but that each of them leans into a little bit of a different set of topics.
Mhm.
And so this particular one ends up being, well, not entirely about front end, but a lot of it, and that's because I don't. Josh, do you remember? I'm not sure if there's like 6 websites. We just got a lot of projects, and a lot of them are based on Jekyll. Like they're all yeah, they're all static sites.
Mhm.
Some of them are on Jekyll. The one that we're going to talk a lot about today
Mhm.
is the next generation version of the Layer 5 IO site. And
Mhm.
so this one's done in Gatsby.
Mhm.
And so actually, so now Soham's going to test my memory. So let's see. So it's the documentation site for
Mhm.
Meshry. That's on Jekyll, docs.meshry.io. Meshry.io, that's on Jekyll. That's a separate site.
Mhm.
Service Mesh Performance, SMP
Spec.
spec.io. That one's Jekyll as well. Josh knows that very well. The Get Nighthawk site that's coming up, it's on Jekyll. So that's
Mhm.
Layer 5 IO. The current one is on Jekyll. Okay, fine.
I was waiting for this.
and then this next generation one on Gatsby. So cool.
Mhm.
So cool. So Chintan, didn't mean to. Oh yeah. The other question I was going to ask you was boy. Speaking of back end oriented things, and speaking of Uber,
Mhm.
there are. Well, I am good friends with. your head of open source of your open source program office, and now I can't remember his name. I have to go look it up. But anyway, we've been noticing some of the, there have been projects coming from Uber for some time, but coming up, and we're actually considering, we're considering using Cadence as a workflow engine inside of Meshery, and so we've yet to really dig in, and we're going to make a determination between whether or not to use Cadence or whether or not to use Argo CD. And the intention there is to more or less treat one of the two of them as a library, if you will, or as a, I'm sorry, not use them as a library, use them as an internal capability. You don't have any familiarity with Cadence by chance?
Not that familiar, but like the team which I'm working on is planning to use Cadence. So like maybe in a month or two, I might have some idea about how it works. And if by then you've not made a call already, then maybe I can, at least if there's something I can help you out on, you can let me know. Otherwise, if there's something particular you want me to find out, I can look it up. If there's some internal documentation which is not, which might be more clear than what the open source version is.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to be good friends. Okay, this is that's great. Yeah, actually, to the extent that we start to take some notes over the next month or so, it might help you as you ramp toward, into that team. So
Yeah.
well, there's that, and then my goodness, there are just some unbelievably beautiful visualizations that are done with anything.gl. And so React Viz, this is probably not, I mean, this actually might be interesting for use inside of Meshery. Right today, we're using Billboard.js, but Meshery's front end, it's on Next.js. It's a React system. And, sorry, I'm losing my focus. There's a .gl. It's not street.gl or streetview.gl. It's something else. There's a couple. Maybe I'll just bring up streetview.gl and or Streetscape, I guess. There's a couple of visualizations that are just, or I'm not sure if you've seen many of these.
So what are you planning to use the visualizations for? Like what aspects are you trying to bring out?
Yeah, there is. Well, when you're running, so if you think about it, this particular, so we're on a street view. There's a bus, there's a bicycle, there's people. They want to use streets to move around. They basically, they're in a network of one place to the next, and there's a shortest path there, or there's a congested path there, and there's a way of visualizing that. Well, network is a network is a network is a network, or which is to say,
yeah, the same can be applied to any other network topology or thing. This kind of visualization.
Yeah, and it's there's lots and lots of overlap. The spatial and sort of geological, the topological presentation is not quite a fit, but maybe, I mean, there's the visualizations here are clearly very compelling. There's lots of controls around them. Like the ability to replay something or play something is fantastic. You can imagine if someone was troubleshooting or using a service mesh, they watch, we've been recording traffic and keeping track of what's going on. There's there's a spike in 500 errors going on.
Right.
Hey, why don't we, if we can facilitate a replay of that and let people, even let them like not just replay visually, but also literally replay captured packets. Hey, we can do that. We have, there's meshes are capable of that. There's very little software that actually enables that actually does that. So
yeah, that's really cool. So I've not used this before, but like where do we feed in the data from? Like here, this looks like some street view data, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, like while I said a network is a network, isn't it? Like, um, it is true. Don't hold out high confidence that we would find a fit for
Mm-hmm.
this, like for streetscape,
Mm-hmm.
but there's other .gl projects that Uber has that
Mm-hmm.
that might be a fit. And yeah, there's a collection of people here um, who are working on a tool called MeshMap. Um, I'll I'll show you this real quick, and then everyone else on the phone is getting really antsy that we're not talking about Layer 5 NG, because conceptually, like 7 hours and 54 minutes ago, we were supposed to push the site live, and
Oh,
we're like a day or two um, over the. But anyway, so um, here's a mock-up of what that kind of looks like, mesh map. So there's there's people who are actively working on this project. Vineeth is one of them. Vineeth actually, oh yeah, actually Vineeth, didn't you just showed this off? Was it this last Friday?
Yeah, on community call.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
mm-hmm.
So anyway, good. So Chintan, hopefully you feel warmly welcomed and not bombarded with like a bunch of random thoughts.
No, absolutely. It felt great. Like actually, I was a little apprehensive about arriving a bit late, but the welcome I received was pretty warm.
Good, good. Yeah, no, there's I think sometimes our eyes are bigger than the numbers of fingers that we have are,
Yeah.
which is to say, we have a lot of projects. We've got a lot of. We want to go make some things happen. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link to this just to. So there's, by the way, that there's a. So hey, no pressure, but you'll probably, we're going to start to put together some notes on this
Mm-hmm.
soon, and so we'll send you a link to where we're starting to take the notes. And
Yeah. I'll add if anything from my side. I can come up with something helpful.
nice. Okay. There's a really um, there's a bright contributor in the community,
Mm-hmm.
Utkarsh Shrivastava,
Mm-hmm.
who is just a name to mentally associate to. He's one of the
Yeah.
guys that we'll look into.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay, fair enough. All right. So we're going to go through. So Josh and Nikhil and folks, we're going to go through this. Josh, do we want to start here or do we want to jump into?
So I'll just talk a bit. So it's like the image is having some. I don't know. There's some issue with the meta image not showing up. Like it's taking some other static image. I checked in the LinkedIn post inspector, but I'll fix it by today or tomorrow. Other than that, I've added the descriptions and also so for pages I've added, and for the individual MDX files, so are we going to have another attribute like a few books? You say that we'll be having distribute the description for a few books and stuff. So
Ooh. Shoot. Yeah, on the I didn't realize that there, I guess there's some individual books that we haven't provided descriptions for. Um, so Josh, you might be able to do me this favor. On the current site, if you go to a given book, I mean, you don't have to go to the site itself. You can go to the code, but
yeah, I can take the description from here. I know. Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, because it would be the same. It wouldn't be. Ooh, it's a
Uh,
must read. Look at that.
so I just wanted to know. So like we'll be having to change the query as well because we'll having to add it in the MDX file, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And apart from that, the Google Analytics plugin, I think Chinmay has added the GTag plugin that I looked into. So I don't. So we'll have to check it once Tanuj is going to again restart the builds, because I have stopped it as it reached 75% within 10 days. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's unreal. I don't. So so I guess there's a couple of topics to chat on here. So one is that Netlify is is the system that we're using to help us do the live preview deployments for our PRs. And we've been, and every month we get 1,000 build minutes because we're an open source project. And we're like 3, 4, 5 days into this month, and we're already at like 75% used. Do you guys consider that that's because, so I'm conscientious of the fact that yesterday I ended up adding maybe like 1,500 new files to the site, like 1,500 new images mostly, or 1,000, somewhere in there. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. Maybe it was like 800, or I don't know. But point is, while the footprint of the site isn't that much bigger, like these images weren't ginormous. A lot of them were SVGs. They don't take up that much space. The I assume that the build time went up because every time that we build, and every time that Netlify builds, it goes through and creates thumbnails and generates new image sizes.
yes, like the thing is, at every push it builds it entirely, and so like at every push it takes around, I think, 3 to 4 minutes.
It's
And
7 minutes.
yeah, so like some can go for 7 minutes, but average I think is 4 to 5 minutes, I guess.
I don't think your adding the images affected it much, because
Yeah, like
currently
it will be the same.
I think the current build time is 7 minutes 42 seconds.
I wonder, okay, maybe as a post go live item
So
for
like it's
somebody.
a single PR can have it multiple times. It is getting deployed because you push some changes and again it gets deployed. So that's the main issue. So I when you ask me for the Versal, I have given you the all research, and it is having around 300 hours per month, 300 or 100 hours. So it's far better than Netlify. I just mentioned in the mail as well. So like, did you talk to Versal?
Yeah, no, Josh, you know what? So, by the way, for everyone that's on the call, that if you would like to have access to the Netlify account that the community uses to manage the deployments of these sites, then just say the word, and we'll get you in. So, everybody here helps maintain this stuff. Josh, that's my misunderstanding. So when we were looking into Vercel, is it Vercel that app? My misunderstanding was that it only gave you 300 minutes a month, not 300 hours. Oh, okay. You guys kept saying like,
Yeah,
you
so
guys kept.
I intentionally mentioned it in the Slack message and in the mail itself that it's ours.
Okay. So see how large this font is right here, and how it's sort of in hot pink. Um, if you could put hours in all caps and hot pink for me. Okay. I didn't get the message, I guess.
Yeah, so I'll just drop the link where it's written as well.
300 hours. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay.
Are
So
you
so
su-
there's
are you sure if for open source also it's 300 hours?
So the thing is, like, for open source, I had talked to them, and so for open source they generally give the enterprise account and single pro membership, similar to the Netlify as well. So if we talk to them about it, they'll give the similar benefits as they give it to the pro members.
sweet. Okay. Well, it's definitely worth.
So like Netlify is also giving the same things which they give to pro accounts, I guess.
That's okay. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay. So if I can empower any of, I don't want to be the blocker here. And Josh, were you being polite in not moving forward, or was it that you weren't able to present yourself as a layer 5 representative?
So I did, but the thing was like, as I mentioned, it should be something like the mail or you talk. It should be from the official something email ID from Layer5 website, not from my personal something. So I raised the ticket and did some got some information from their sales person, but I didn't like, we cannot talk that business on that thing. So I just forwarded that to you. So that's the thing. That's why I didn't go further with that.
Is you know, talking with Josh always has the undesired side effect of giving Lee some work to do. It's not- okay. Okay. I think next up. So by the way, Chintan, it was my apologies. I confused your first name with Chin Mei.
Yeah, I had a look at that. Like there were some mentions there, right?
Yeah, that was why I was getting you. But so Chin Mei. So very nice to have both of you on the call. But Chin Mei, thanks for the. Well, do we want to, so thanks for being on the call, Chin Mei, and I know most recently I think you're working on the Google Analytics. Should we talk about the plugin there? Oh, and it's done. It's maybe we.
No, it's the second one.
Nice. Oh, also, for any community member, if you're curious about, if you'd like to have access to, of those 5 sites that we talked about, if you'd like to have access to the analytics accounts behind them, a number of you already have access, but if you don't have it and you like it, then signal. So sorry. So Chin Mei and Josh, are we good to go on this one? It's just about configuring the plugin.
I think like from this site perspective, it's enough. I think we'll have to look into the analytics part as well. So I'll just have a look if there's something to configure over there as well.
Okay. To get more familiar with the plugin and its capabilities. Oh, that reminds me. Right, Josh, we were kind of talking about how, for my part, I'm an ignoramus on Google Tag Manager and its capabilities, and wanting to make sure that we're getting off on the right foot.
Yeah, so this plugin is the Google Tag Manager for Gatsby. So like we can add the marketing and all stuff, Google marketing, and also in this single plugin as well, apart from the analytics part.
Good. We can shove an email subscription down people's throats. Okay. Good. Okay. Cool. Okay. So Josh, I'll let you. You'll follow up on both. I guess the SEO for the books, the GraphQL query for the books, and then just sort of double checking on Google Analytics plugin. Okay. All right. Are we down to must-haves on Layer 5 NG? Yes, we are. Okay. Okay. So you guys have been doing a great job. I mean, it's I feel, well, no, I don't. I was going to say I feel slightly bad for some of the competitive players in the space. There are only a few pure play competitors to Layer 5, those that are focused on um, similar things. And this site looks a lot better than most of them, except for the one that just got acquired by, or is being acquired by Cisco, Bonsai Cloud. I wouldn't say except for that Layer 5 NG doesn't look better, because it will. This one looks very pretty and also super generic. And there will be no mistake. Well, for one, there will be no mistake on Layer 5 NG when you go to community, and we finally shoved in a few new images, photos. Sadly, some of them have my face in them.
I just wanted to, so sorry to interrupt. The images, like the size of images needs to be reduced. So are we going to use any plugin for it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, is like, I guess it kind of goes back to our build minutes and the image resizing. Is that not so? I guess help me out here. When we're building the site locally,
Mm-hmm.
certainly thumbnails are being generated. That sharp image plugin is being run, but
So there's something issue with the SVG. Like when I saw the Lighthouse report as well, so there is these unused, like the images are having like sizes in large sizes, and they are unused CSS, JavaScript, and all stuff. So these are the main issues where.
Uh, what's happening is that these images that we are using directly, they are not generated using the Sharp plugin. These are which are we are taking from the GraphQL query. Yeah, these images are generated using the Sharp images. So I looked
so that
into how, if there is a way to replace that HTML image tag directly with the Sharp plugin, but I wasn't able to find a clear solution for that. And
right.
al-
The alternative approach there might be, I think that your approach is probably the best, which is to say that anytime that someone's adding an image, if they're just using the regular image tag, that ideally the plugin would be grabbing all images and resizing them. For certain things like this slider with a number of images in it, if these images are directly linked to, which actually isn't that great for maintaining, as we add more and more images, having those statically linked to is not necessarily ideal. Rather, having just a having a folder full of images, and then using GraphQL to grab them and pull them in. That's a much better, an easier thing to maintain. Plus, those images might be resized then.
yeah, sure, I can look into that. If also there is that image bot that is currently not working because it is not on the master branch. Maybe when that we go to the shift it to the master branch, then all these images will be reduced in size.
That's a great point as well.
So Tanuj, are we using any bundler for CSS or JavaScript currently? Any bundler plugin?
Mm, no.
Okay, so like there is, we need to use it as well, because there is unused CSS and JavaScript. So like we talked about including SaaS, but we are going to do it post live. So till then we can have a plugin if required.
check it out if there is a plug. Do you know of a plugin something like that?
Yeah, in Gatsby I looked into it. There was a plugin for the CSS bundlers and stuff.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay. So for, I think so. Yeah, it sounds like Tanuj. Immediately, there's I think a fix that we know would work for certain images. That if we were to include those into a collection, these, that at least those would be reduced. But that's not the best solution because it's not a holistic one. So okay, yeah. So more investigation into the use of plugins. So again, kind of and then in the meantime, as we go live, if we don't get that figured out, it might be the image bot is helpful on master branch. Okay, next topic is, well, the homepage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So by the way, is the latest site, is it, did we fix the build last night? I think we did, right?
Yeah.
So this is the latest and greatest here, I think. Or yeah, this is the latest, isn't it? Okay, so so some of the work that needs to be done is a little obvious. Some of it isn't obvious. So one of them that's somewhat obvious is, I am just guessing that this still has responsive issues. So it's not the end of the. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we released without that being fixed. I mean, this is bad enough that we probably wouldn't want to release. That's smaller things are things like, hey, this is way too verbose, and I don't know that while it's I don't know that we want to use the word exploiting right on the homepage. That's my that's my fault for not. So this testimonial here, I don't know that Austin, that we don't have this inside of the current design, do we?
No, we don't. We
Okay.
took this out. It's just on the is this on currently on the, I've seen the format template that was used on the
Okay.
layer side.
Yeah, it will be removed. Means we were getting different PRs from everyone, so accordingly sections were added. Then together we can remove any section where we don't want.
So I mean, this particular quoting, testimonial system is, it's fine. I mean, it's mostly fine. The thing on the right hand side can be tuned a little bit, and it would be probably just fine. These two quotes literally can be used in the new testimonial design. So that's good. Austin, one of the things on that new testimonial design is that, well, by the way, does anyone know where it is on the site now?
Slash service mesh management slash mastery slash getting started.
Boy, SEO just takes all the fun out of.
You can go to the Meshery page. From there are links. Yeah, the manage. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is nice. One, the effect that this one has is, well, that it's just endless praise, right? It just keeps going. The praise just keeps going. Now, the animation is probably fine. It's maybe a little bit quick, but it's a very easy fix. But Austin, anyway, it's been implemented now. But what we would probably do is it's not so much about the user or their position. It's more about what they said. So we'd want for the prominence of what they said to be bigger, their name and their position to be smaller.
Okay, all right, sir. I'll work on that.
Oh, thank you. While we're on that topic, there have been two new components created recently. Both of them are block quotes. And so I don't think that they're in use just yet, but you'll see them soon. We'll have a new blog post that will use them. So just as a side note. Okay, so back on the homepage, we go and look at what the design calls for. So a couple of things. So Austin, I don't know if you're going to be pleasantly surprised or not, but so I updated this. I spent a lot of time inside this SVG and cleaned it up, and then made it a bit more meshy with a few new lines in between, and then also dropped in some black. And so just to make you giggle, I guess. How do people feel about this? Hideous? Is the black not working for us? Vineeth, I know you're going to animate this somehow. You're going to light up these individual pillar sections.
Yeah, will do.
Nice.
That would be post NG, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's kind of this image is a little squished. It says Austin doesn't like to maintain aspect ratio on images. But anyway, point is here's an alternative view of without the black. What do we like better? Do we like dark gray or black? Charcoal or black? Or for some of you, is you don't care, you just want us to be done with this homepage. Okay. So by the way, I don't know that this is pretty, I think, but just part of the concept is that, well, we could, instead of trying to represent what a service mesh is, we could, have this, or we could have Vineeth. It would be nice if we were able to have a couple of different hero images for the main page and have that be a little dynamic, every other refresh or just some random.
Like you said, the 404 page sort of.
Yeah. Now, one item about making two different heroes and having that work is that there's a slight gotcha, and that's here for this particular design, it's a white nav bar. For this particular design, it's a very light green, and so that system, it would need to account. We would need to account for both areas.
Yeah, we're looking.
Okay, so then
this should be post NG, right? I'm just asking,
right,
or
yep.
should be done by tomorrow or such.
But to your point, like even if it was ready right now, the right call for us, like for that, is hey, let's just save it until after going live. Save it till after going, like just to try to. We'll try to yes, it would go after live because we try to not make a lot of changes. Here's one thing that I don't think that we've gotten to just yet. Relatively.
Yeah, there is a PR open for this.
Oh, there's okay. Okay. So next, this had been slightly enhanced, and it's okay for us to go live with the current version. Later, later or now, it would be, this is probably a better design, or this is a better design.
And this too also, I think, Vinith, you included it, right?
Yeah, these two are a part of the PR
Yeah.
and the partner section and the project section.
No kidding. The alternating partner page.
No, no. He means this part. This is the part of the peer.
Oh, I see. The partners up here. Okay, got it. Okay, so very good. That's awesome. Okay, so we're closer than I thought. By the way, there's I took this SVG and animated it, and it looks pretty great. I'm just having a hard time getting it to activate on the page. So another post go live thing. So I think, okay, so this.
Yeah, somebody assigned, somebody asked to work on this, but I didn't hear from. I think it's a new contributor, so I think it's best to uh, if one of us takes it, because
Yeah,
we need to get it done fast.
yeah. Nice. Okay. What else are we?
Apart from that, all the sections I think on the homepage are done. It is matter of small fixing small issues and removing the section we don't need currently.
Okay. Also, are we going to have the site cleanup, like the sections that we're not using in our website anywhere,
So
like
yeah, I
from
don't
the
know.
template?
Seems like that would be adding to the build time as well. It'd be nice to retain the components in case they're useful, somewhere. But yeah, so moving them either out of source or at the same level as source, like into an archive folder.
So no, not I'm not talking about the components. I'm talking about sections. Like components, we will be using anyhow, but sections like the hosting page, hosting home page, and the modern home page, the classic home page, and all those things that we are not going to use anyway.
Sure. Yep, it makes sense. I'm not sure if we even need to retain those. I don't know. I mean, it would be, since we have them, we may as well retain them. But yeah, if we move those out of the build structure,
It's not going to affect the build time because we are not using them inside the pages folder.
so it would just be for clarity of like,
Yeah.
okay, just for, and those need to go to what level?
Means
Or I guess they don't have to go to a level. I'm sorry, they don't have to go to a level because they're not being included in the build. We could just make a folder.
Yeah, it can be something like archive or something.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we kind of jumped around there, but we were talking about the homepage and what's left. This also, so this is easy enough to finish. Part of finishing it will mean, I think there's a duplicative heading here and here. In the design, how did we deal with this? So we've got a heading. And then I guess in the design, we don't have that set of features. It's possible to leave it out. Austin, do you know where we ended up using this component? Is that on the Meshery page?
Yeah, I don't think we really used them. We took them out and we just took them out. Took them out, took the side that the pricing the tables out also, and we just drop the tables on the mesh page. But we didn't use the other section. The other section.
Okay. So we'll have to look at that because it's a good section to include.
Yeah.
Do you mind looking at where you think that might fit in?
Definitely, I'll look at it and then slap it in.
Okay, nice. Okay, any other comments on the homepage? Man, that was a mouthful, just that. So the Meshery pages, Tanuj, is it mostly about content at this point?
Uh, I am working on the third mastery page. Apart from that, uh, we need content on the second, that getting started page, and yeah, this needs content.
And then did we also take out the feature switcher?
Yeah,
The feature switcher is going to be in the Meshery landing page, right, Tanuj?
yeah,
So we'll be having to need the content over there as well.
yeah. It's just a matter of including it.
Okay, so
Everything.
it's the content is done.
No, the content is left. I'm just saying the feature switcher, everything has been. You just need to change the color to yellow. I think it is
Okay, okay,
currently, I think, teal blue. Apart from that, everything I fixed into feature switcher.
okay.
So okay, very good. Well, I'll for my part, I'll drop content just off to the left here, kind of like up here. So speaking of Nikhil, what a great job you did on this. Do Nikhil, I don't know at the moment that these features are are included here.
I just wanted to ask, like, whether this all three are being used as a slider, or like the current slider includes only the images. But as I saw in this design, it was like three different features, and we'll be sliding between those or something.
Yeah, I guess that's what I thought we would be doing, but it's okay if we're so. I see. Okay. This is fine as well. As a matter of fact, we can change this a little bit to just, and I don't mean to like give instruction on the fly with like, but just to speak to it, like when we go to include the feature switcher below, the fact that this really isn't a feature switcher, rather if it just talks about some particular set of features like performance management, then it can just be, you can just go through performance management things. The rest of the feature set can go into this full blown feature switcher. We might just want to remove. We probably can just remove it. We don't need to say features because we're already telling them what we're looking at.
I'm audible.
Yep.
Dang, I was trying for so hard to get my audio somehow, but wasn't able to. So had to join from a mobile, unfortunately. Okay, so actually I had few things regarding the homepage design.
Okay.
Like uh, one thing is for the logos of the partner section. Like
Oh, yep.
uh,
Do
I'm not sure I'll be using that particular red logo for the
no,
first it
for
is.
right. No, it just, I think what happened was when it imported into Figma, it ended up, if you go, so very briefly inside the Meshery UI Figma, there is mesh map icons, and there's a much better two page.
The main reason it was annoying me more was we have the Red Hat logo, which is already red, and we are not using Red Hat as red color, and we are using Citrix as red color. That was annoying me more. Yeah, but okay, that would do.
Yeah.
And other than that, for the hero image, uh, like if while Vineet is working on the animation, the hero image is getting chopped off from the navbar, like when the navbar is starting for a higher resolution monitor, you can say, or display. But that should continue to the navbar as well.
Here, she's get chopped off the nav bar. Oh, yeah. Right. So I don't know. That could be a special challenge for Vineeth or for whoever wants to take it on. But
I
yeah,
think setting the Z index might do, not sure, and playing with the position as well.
I suppose here's a potential issue. Let's say that somebody has a 5K screen, for example, and it would be the case that that, by the way, by the way, on the subject of a 5K screen, while it's true that I've been fortunate enough to to be able to get a 5K screen, no one on the call can see it, and I'm going to share a video with you after the call. Right where my mouse is, you can only have the pleasure of seeing it if you're here in the room. There's a small gnat, a small, a super small. A gnat is kind of like a mosquito, except extremely small, little tiny bug. Flew into and is in between the LED and the glass. Like I don't know how it got into the, but now there's this permanent gnat. There's this bug. I have a buggy screen, literally a buggy screen. It's um, I'll have to send you guys a picture.
Side effects of having a 5K screen.
Yeah, I guess. You guys are feeling very sorry for me right now. You guys are feeling. Anyway, okay. So up here, it might be the case that this blog would slightly get overlapped, with respect to the background.
Right.
And not that we can't work on fixing that or use a different image or like have a, not that we can't, or I think, yeah, if we move the Z index for this, well, so right now, Vineeth, I think you have the Z index for the mega menu at like 9,999, which makes sense. And I don't know if that's the same for the nav bar as well. If we would want, anyway, or if the nav bar, maybe the thing to do might be to have the nav bar translucent with like a 0 opacity only when it's touching the top. And when you start to scroll, then its opacity changes and, fills in.
Mhm. Yeah, that might be something to play with once when he is working with the animation, like at that time.
Yeah.
Nothing as such like before go live. And one more thing, like if you scroll down a bit to the that section, the just above, which have the 6 features listed, there is a small animation that icon coming. Is that intentional or by mistake?
Yeah, it was part of the component that was originally there, and it's okay. It's okay. Uh, for this one, it's appropriate because this is the mesh operator, and it has mesh sync inside, and so sort of like mesh sync inside. Yeah, it's okay. It's. I think if we had nothing else to do, I would vote to like change. Do a different animation, but and mesh sync is inappropriate for all of them. Like it needs to be over here. It would be Envoy because we're working with Envoy right here. And so,
Okay. And for others, like if we, for those which are for which mesh sync is not coming, there's a very light particles, circular
yeah,
particles are coming in.
yeah.
I just noticed it today. Like I was going through the site. I was like, okay,
Yeah, you're right.
yes, that's one.
Right. Yeah, that needs to, yeah, you're right. It's what you don't like? Light pink? Is that something against pink or?
Not against the pink, but that coming in was like, okay, yeah, we can change the color from light pink to green because we are supporting green over here more than pink.
Oh boy. So
And yeah, for the testimonial section, I had one thing like if we can reuse it in the learn page as well. We have
yeah.
that section left out where data needs to be added. We can add the same in that section as well. Yeah, just yeah, that one.
Oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, to continue to take advantage of that nice component, but to do it over here.